You can't win them all, Charlie Brown. It's a comic strip on the back. I'm sick and tired of losing all the time. Every time I try, I just seem to lose. Who are you calling? Dial a loser. Sorry, that was a bit more awkward than we normally do here. Charlie Brown, most of us know from the cartoons, as opposed to selected cartoons from Ha Ha Home and Charlie Brown Volume 2. That's what this is. Published, well, copyright 1971. This edition published the year I was born, 1976. That's how good grief. That is pretty much how I'm feeling now. It's it's really good. I can't My relationship with Charlie Brown is the one of anyone my age, BBC Two from the age of 10. So my perspective would have been being exposed to it in, let's say, 1986 and as an animated feature. But this is the first time, shame on me, where I've actually read a compendium as an adult of these stories. It really does show an innocence and a bleakness that I really wasn't expecting. Uh, Snoopy, for example, is trying to read War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy, chapter one. Well, I'm only going to read one word each day. And that becomes a running gag for about 4 or 5 strips. Woodstock asks him to help him catch up. And it's like, I've already been reading. I can't have you holding me back. I'm on word 4 already. Uh, Joe Cool is in here in terms of that persona that Snoopy has. Fight with the neighboring cat. Is it a kitten or is it a gully cat? That is one of those things that really funnily plays out because on the one hand, we also know that Snoopy is good at bravado. On the other hand, Linus gets involved and we know that cat's fucking massive. Lucy gets to shine, although I think the fact that she's willing to dress up as an attractive waitress so that Snoopy would actually eat his lunch. Charlie Bond is quite funny, but the overreaching arcs of relationships and emotions still come in here. I think the one that really stood out to me is this story about Peppermint Patty. And Peppermint Patty is an important character to me in terms of my own sort of development. In that, when I first saw the cartoons as about a 10 or 11-year-old, I thought Patty was short for Patrick, and that Peppermint was a gay boy who fancied Charlie Brown, but had issues with it. I was that level of awareness that such things occurred. The fact that it took years before I realized that Peppermint Patty was a Patricia. And then it goes down to that regressive. I suppose the fact that a friend keeps calling her Sir didn't really help. But there is a whole run in this where Patty is taking on the system because they're insisting she wears a dress to school because she's a girl. That does not fit well with her. She is not a Lucy. At the same time, she does fancy Charlie Brown, and it really plays out a great sort of primary school, that 10, 11 dynamic of emotion there. In the end, she does go into school as a dress. One of the boys takes the piss and he beats the shit out of him. Death to the Pelican Army, as my niece would call it. That's because couldn't really get her to pronounce patriarchy when she was proper little, and now it's stuck. Uh, the weird tangents that they go on, the fact that the denial of her own emotions while it's just really sweet. Lucy's own fixation with Schroeder. Dude's got a keyboard, yeah, we all know about that. But I think to me, Snoopy will still be the one that I identify with the most, simply because he spends so much time on that kennel, yet that kennel is not his world, it's his galaxy. He creates adventure from it, from fighting the Red Baron to writing his novels, with Woodstock being his PA, to becoming a lawyer. Uh, It all happens on that roof, and of course, the persona Joe Cool, which is ultimately him wandering around going, "Why's that guy got two chicks?" It's like, you're a dog. What do you even know about two chicks? It's really well played out. Just three, four panels ago, all emotive and no exposition. I think it's just a real skill um, of abstraction that you can't really feel anywhere else. The futility when Charlie Brown falls over, he falls over on the ice. He's sort of doing a Ziggy impersonation here. And then someone turns around and just spins him. Just the futility, the ennui of it all is quite funny. Woodstock makes his own friends in the snow. They all melt away. I mean, it's hilarious. I'm a 48-year-old man. I found it hilarious. Peppermint Patty being taken in for the um, refusing to wear a dress. Sir, I admit I've deliberately chosen to defy the school dress code. I knew that I'd probably be sent to your office. In fact, I was prepared for it. I bought my attorney. It's Snoopy in a bow. Just that earnestness that you can have at that age. Yes, it's just so well played. Um, and it is just, you know what? I think the fact is a lot of the issues we have in terms of mental health and emotional health, I know, bit of a stretch, come from the fact that we don't seem to allow kids to be sad. We don't want to acknowledge that they feel loss in any way, like any other human being. And I think that has grown in certainly in my generation. I think ecstasy managed to monetize happiness in such a way. I'm not talking about physiological don't do drugs. I'm just thinking that there was an avoidance tactic that is only now beginning to fucking unspin. It's grounded and it's earthy. I mean, the strongest thing I've ever seen within the whole franchise, and God knows I'd never knew it existed and found the video, was when I believe the story is What is Cancer, Charlie Brown? And there's a kid at his school going through chemo. It, in its own way, understands warmth and humor and sadness and loss in a level that you can't not find funny and recognizable as a middle aged man, and was definitely a massively supportive template when I think of myself and for many others in my generation. That it's probably the 70s, 80s equivalent of saying it's okay not to be okay. It's just where you go from there. That is often going to be the question. So with that, you can't win them all, Charlie Brown. Absolute joy. Um, do check out some Charlie Brown books. I know you might think, but these little pocket editions, I mean, they're knocking around all over the place. You don't have to go and buy the big, exorbitant omnibuses just to have a few peanuts in your life. And with that, now I can subscribe.